Today is my first day of monitoring. It's very, very early and my appointment's not till 8, but it's like 6:50. I'm gonna go early because I have to work today and I'm trying not to be super, super late. Because this moves so quickly, my FMLA paperwork for my intermittent FMLA legitimately has only just been sent to me. So I'm trying not to be super late because I feel bad because the FMLA paperwork isn't done. But today's the first day of monitoring, and I will be really honest, I am ridiculously nervous about this med cycle. The whole cycle's different. Last time they put me on Lupron, then they put me on birth control or something, and then they put me on estrogen. I don't know. They did all kinds of things. This one is legitimately just estrogen and patches. And I think the patches is what makes me most uncomfortable because I didn't have a super great experience with them last time. But again, that could be due to the horrible birth control I was on, because once I stopped that, it went away. I mean, I don't know. I'm nervous about the men's cycle, not so much the appointment, the men's cycle. So for those of you who don't know, usually this first monitoring appointment is done while you're on your cycle. So I'm about halfway through my menstruation cycle, and it's really awkward and really uncomfortable and weird, to say the least. I've done it 3 times now where they've had me go while I was mid-cycle, and every time it is uncomfortable. So here we go again. So today is my second ultrasound appointment and lab draw. The last one, it's been a week. It's been a week since my last one. So last time they told me that my estrogen levels were really high, but they had me start medications anyway. This time, I think I've said before, probably because I can remember what I've already told you. They had me on a different regimen than they did last time. No Lupron, it's just estrogen by pill, and then they have me on estrogen patches, and those have me the most worrisome. However, I will say, based on what happened last time, I had a similar protocol. I don't have the side effects and the symptoms that I did last time, which was feeling really not okay, like mentally. It just kind of made me feel like a crazy weirdo person, and I had a lot of real thick mucusy discharge from places you don't want to know about. But again, I'm really convinced that it was related back to that birth control. So I was very apprehensive when I saw the med protocol was different this time, but I'm glad I'm not on Lupron. So today will tell me if it's working, and I'll let you know if they got to adjust. And then we have another ultrasound on Friday. It's Tuesday. And then a week after that, we have transfer. So that's where we're at in the timeline. Hi. Okay, sorry about the bad lighting. I just got off work. So, had my appointment this morning. It was real quick, in and out like normal. Met a really nice lady in the lab office, which is something I think is so funny because I've been in the lab department of Dr. Shapiro's office countless times. And do you know that nobody, not once, has ever said anything to me except for the lab people? So last week when I was in there, I said something to the lady next to me. She was getting blood drawn, and I was like, good luck, congratulations, something like that. And she didn't even acknowledge me. She gave me side eye. This lady today, I sat down and she was like, hey, is this your first time? And I'm like, no, I carried last year for something. She's like, oh, that's great. Her attitude changed a little bit, but I was like, is this your first time? And she's like, well, and I go, well, it's okay. I said, you're the first person who's ever spoken to me. And I was just like, really? With this great little conversation as we both got poked with sharp objects. And she was like, we need to lift each other up. I'm like, that's right. This is the best place to do it because we're all full of hopes here. But she was super, super nice. So, friend, if you are watching, I appreciate you talking to me in the lab department. I hope I see her again. I feel like I've made a new friend. But I did get my results back, and they said everything was fine. I let the ultrasound tech know about the discharge, and she said it's normal. She says it happens because we're on so much estrogen. They just track it and make sure it goes away. And she said most of mine had come out already, so it was fine at this point. They said my lining was a 6, which is 6 millimeters. I think they like it above a 7. Don't quote me on that. I feel like maybe it's closer to 11. I don't know. But I know they like it a little bit higher than it is. And they said everything looked great. The lining, consistency of it looked really good. So just one more ultrasound and the lab appointment on Friday. then 1 lab appointment, and then transfer as long as everything goes good. So after this appointment on Friday, they'll let me know if we're still on track for transfer and when I will start progesterone injections. So that's that. See you next week. So it's the middle of my work week. It's Monday, and I didn't get to update last week after my appointment. I was very busy. I apologize. But they pushed back transfer. It was supposed to be on the 25th, which was this Friday, and they pushed it back to the 28th. Tomorrow was supposed to be my final lab work before transfer. But as such, since they pushed back transfer, my lining wasn't thick enough. We needed another ultrasound, so I have another ultrasound in the morning. That being said, I am what I can only imagine is an estrogen hormonal what the WTF. I have cried no less than 4 times today, 3 times, 4 times, something like that, and at the most ridiculous things, and not like emotional, my feelings are hurt crying, like, oh my God, I can't control the feelings I'm having right now. Let's see, the first one was because I was watching my 600-pound life on my lunch break, or when I was like getting a snack, and the rather heavy-set woman who was working very hard to lose weight managed to walk approximately 10 feet with her walker, and she said it was the first time she'd walked in years. So that was emotional spat number 1. Emotional spat number 2 was on my lunch break. I was watching the Weather Channel, and they were showing old footage from a rescue, like a river rescue where there was ice and cars had gone into the river. There was that. And just now I was watching Outlander, for those of you who watch Outlander and are up to date on season 4. I have watched the second to last episode where Roger is in the Mohawk camp. For those of you who don't watch Outlander, spoiler, he's in the Mohawk camp, and the priest is burning, and the girl climbs on the fire with him, and I just can't handle it. I mean, I'm just, whoa. It's not even like crazy emotions, it's like emotions. So there's that. Yeah. So hopefully tomorrow will be good news and my lining will be thick enough. But I think the estrogen's working. If nothing else, it's working on my emotions. So hopefully good news tomorrow, and then we'll know more. Okay, I just finished my ultrasound, and I have a really strong suspicion they're going to cancel this cycle. They, my ultrasound techs and I just chit-chat the whole time, and while the pattern of the lining is what they call trimilinear, which essentially means it's got 3 stripes to it, kind of looks like an Oreo, I guess is the best way to explain it. The thickness has only gone up 1 millimeter since last week, and they said I've got a little bit of fluid in there, which I knew I had the fluid in there. I don't feel like it's a ton like it was when I had issues with it before, but I have a little sneaking suspicion they're possibly gonna drop this cycle, so we'll see. Here's hoping, positive thoughts, right? And move forward from here. I'm a little surprised because the only thing, well, there's 2 things that's different about this cycle, and it was 1, that we didn't use Lupron, and 2, that we used the patches. And as I said before, the last time with the patches, my lining just got thinner and thinner and thinner, and I wonder if that's the case, if that's the causative factor. So I don't know, we will see. We'll go from here, and I will update you after I get an email from my person today. Okay, so I got my email from the clinic yesterday afternoon. They did drop the cycle. I'm not surprised. They said basically I had some fluid going on in general, and so, like I said, I had that before, and it wasn't so much that I was like, oh my God, this is a lot of stuff coming out. But it did keep coming, and it didn't go away. Like usually it would come and then it would leave. Like the last time I had it when I transferred to the last baby, I had it, but then it went away like after a week or something, and it wasn't so much. I don't feel like this was an excessive amount, but it was enough that they were like, hey, it's in your uterus now instead of just coming out. Your body's not expelling it anymore. That means the lining's starting to break down. plus your progesterone levels started to prematurely elevate, which tells us in general this cycle isn't going to work. So they dropped the cycle, and we're going to restart. They've prescribed me something that I can't pronounce. And I asked the docs at work about it, and they basically said it's like another form of progesterone to bring everything back down to baseline so that all my levels will come to baseline. I also asked why we did things differently this time. So Sarah is my contact at Dr. Shapiro's office, and I was like, just out of curiosity, why did we do it different? And she said basically they didn't do the Lupron this time because they were trying to save time. So she says the Lupron adds 2 weeks onto the cycle, and when time is an important factor, then we skip the Lupron. She said, but doctor did indicate that next time we will put you on Lupron. So it looks like this next attempt at meds, we're going to do the same regimen as last time. So here's hoping that one works. I'm not disappointed about it, and I'm pleasantly surprised that I'm not quite as emotional about it as I was before. With when I canceled the one and I was crying like the Leave Britney Alone video, that one, I was really emotional about it, and I am not this time, which is awesome. I kind of saw the writing on the wall, I guess, real early, and sometimes that's just how it works, I guess, and it happens. So I didn't have a lot of confidence in it this time since everything was different, and this medication protocol that he put me on this first time was similar to the one when I had the last clinic, the previous clinic that didn't really listen to me. So hopefully this next one will work and we won't have any delays and won't have any issues. Yeah, that's that for now. So here we go again, all the time. We're just gonna keep going and pushing forward. But yeah, it is what it is.